just about 3 years ago, I posted a video on this YouTube channel, and I was a very much worse version of myself today. I was 16 years old. I had no clue where to go in life. I was working a minimum wage job, didn't have many friends, and was super overweight, and was just trying to figure out, where do I go in life? I played a lot of video games. I didn't have anything going for me. And 3 years later, I would like to say my life has changed for the better. I've been extremely I want to say blessed and lucky, and I worked for it every day. I sacrificed pretty much everything I had in life, whether it be school, whether it be old friends, whether it be the way I lived my life and the comfortableness I had when I was broke, playing video games, doing all that stuff, forgetting all of that, leaving it behind, and essentially killing my old self and building a new self. And today, my life has completely changed, I would say, for the better. I just moved into a penthouse in Austin, Texas with my business partner. Businesses have done extremely well this year. This has been the best year in my life, I guess you could say, financially, physically, relationships, all of it. And I mean, I'm wearing my dream watch that I had when I was just starting business. I saw one of, I guess, an early mentor of mine. He was wearing it. It was like a $60,000, $70,000 Patek Philippe Aquanaut, and I bought that for my 19th birthday. And all this to say, there's a few reasons why I would say I've gone to the lengths I've gotten to. And I want to, in this video, give some lessons almost to my younger self, maybe that's watching this, whether you're looking for direction, whether you're starting a business model like what I started, which was an agency, it could be an AI agency like I talk about on this channel, or you're just in general just trying to figure out what should you do with your life, or if you've already progressed and you're going a long ways, what have been the things that have helped me consistently get ahead every single year? This has not been a 6-month thing. It was just a fluke and it magically happened. This has been a year on year progression where every single year I've been growing at a rate that majority of the population doesn't even think is possible. And I don't mean that with ego. I genuinely mean that in I've sacrificed everything to get to where I'm at. And the first thing I'm going to mention on is I did something that my mentor told me to do last year. So one thing I've always been big on is investing into mentors, into education. I've spent well over 6 figures on courses, mentorships, all that stuff. People may say courses are a scam and mentorships are a scam. I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of bad actors out there. But if you want to get ahead and if you want to understand what people above you, I guess, in a financial sense are thinking, you need to invest your money. They're not going to do it for you for free. So I've always had mentors. And something a mentor of mine who mentored a guy you would know, probably 99% of you guys would know, very big in the space. He was his mentor. And he told me, he said, Carson, you need to build what's called a life vision doc, okay? And this is essentially building out your life vision 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and 20 years from now. Write out where you want to be in life. How much money do you want to have? Who do you want to be around? Do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to have these things? And for me, it sounded stupid at the time because I'm like, why am I going to go spend an hour on a document on something of just wishing, this is my life in 20 years from now? Because I was only 18 years old at the time, and that'd be when I'm 38. That's a very long ways. But the point is, in that 1 year goal, and this is literally almost exactly a year ago, I made that document. I put down my 1 year from now goal, which would have been exactly pretty much today. And I documented this on this YouTube channel. I talked about building your life vision, and I was actively doing it. My life is, if I look at that doc that I've looked at ever since I made it, it is scary how accurate it is 1 year later. Very scary accurate, okay? In a lot of ways, I've surpassed that document. And why that is my mentor told me, he said, you're building a subconscious guide almost for your mind. For as the years go by, you will inevitably follow or fall into some of these goals because you knew that was your North Star. And a lot of people don't have goals. They don't have their North Star. Their North Star could be buying a Lamborghini, but is the Lamborghini the thing that's going to change them? No. It's year-on-year progression and growth of the inputs. The outputs will inevitably come. This output, this watch, this $70,000 watch, all right, that is an output. That is an output of many inputs I had to put in for years to get to where I'm at today. This is like a little bit of a trophy, okay? But this means nothing, okay? All it means is I put myself to work for many years and I made it happen, okay? And sure, it's cool to say I have this, but at the end of the day, this watch doesn't change me. This watch is just saying, hey, I've done something, I guess, well, or done something right. But the point is of this document is like, and this is something I want everyone watching this video to do, write down your North Star and write down where you want to be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and 20 years from now. And I don't mean just write out how much money you want to have. I mean, write down how much money do you want to have? Who do you want to be with? What businesses do you want to be running? What does your average day look like? What clothes are you wearing? All these little things that might seem stupid in the moment, but trust me, it does some weird works, okay? And it worked really well for me. And I think a lot of people that get into this whole online money space, and especially people who make some money quick, they are, I don't want to use the word immature, right? Because everyone does it for different reasons. Some people make money because they simply just want to show off to others. And whatever, if that's what they want to do, go for it. That's not a person I am. Like if that was who I was, I would never have bought this watch. No one even knows what this is, okay? But I do, right? And this mattered to me. I don't have a car. Could I definitely buy the most expensive car? I've talked about this before. I could go probably finance a Bugatti, be first 19-year-old somehow if I got approved with a Bugatti in the world. Or I bet there's some billionaire kid who has one, but like you guys get the point. It's like if I did it for the external validation, I definitely could. But for me, that's not why I started. It was a bigger reason, a bigger purpose for myself. And I'd rather say, hey, I'd rather invest my money. I look at things very long term, and I like to think I'm a logical person. And that's how I've gone about things. But overall, if you write down your goals over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you will be very surprised on where you end up. Because most people can't even think longer than a few months. And that's what holds them back. If you can think long term and think regardless of what happens, I'm going to put the foot in front of the other every single day until I'm satisfied or I'm happy, you're a winner because you never gave up. And as cringy and as kind of corny as that sounds, that's why people fail, is because they give up. It's not because, they were taught something wrong or like they had this XYZ super disadvantage. It's all on you. I've said this before as well, but like as an entrepreneur, everything is your fault. Every single little thing is your fault. It doesn't matter if your team member did a bad job. You hired them, okay? The blame comes back to you. Same thing with the results for a client. If a client is super angry, and they get mad at you and they want a refund, that might have been your fault for closing that client and taking payment from them because you might have seen some signs beforehand that would have signaled, hey, this is a bad client. I probably shouldn't work with them, right? This might end bad. Everything, okay? Self-accountability is the number one thing entrepreneurs have to deal with, and it's why most of them are stuck at a certain cap. When you humble yourself and realize everything is my fault, I have goals I need to put in front of the other every day, I have morals, I have all these things, then you inevitably will win. But it just takes time. Everyone's at different kind of time frames and time lengths. Like maybe someone's watching this right now and you're in college and you think you're failing because you see people like me making X amount of dollars a month and, I live this life. Guys, everyone's at their own pace, okay? I've had to sacrifice everything, all right? Friends, time on things I might like doing, with other people, whether it be video games. That's what I did a lot growing up. Like all of it, I had to kill my old self to build my new one. And most people aren't ready for that. And that's why most people aren't entrepreneurs. And it's very fair, and I don't shame them for it, right? It's a very hard path, but the path in my mind is the most rewarding. For me to wake up and go to a job for the next 40 years, 9 to 5, even if I made great money at the end of the 20-year mark or the 30-year mark, it's not worth it for me because I want it to be something different, okay? In order to be different, I have to take a different path. And if that path is less traveled, then so be it, That's the sacrifices you're going to have to deal with as a person if you make that choice. So overall, guys, make a list, make a doc, okay? If you get one thing from this video, make a document, whether it be on paper that you keep or a digital document. Write down where you want to be in life and make real goals. Don't say I want to make $1 million next year, but then you have zero kind of, trajectory to even get there. Don't be unrealistic about it. Maybe conservative on it, but still stretch yourself to the point where it's doable, but it's not impossible, okay? And if you can do that, I guarantee you're going to be surprised with the results. If you even come close to it or even fall 50% away from it, you're probably still going to end up in a better spot than where you are today. And it's just putting your subconscious mind on the initiative to understand where the path is going forward. The next thing I want to talk about is almost just something I've been going through personally in my life is moving, right? I moved to a brand new city I've never been to before, And one thing it's done for me, and I waited a very long time to do this, okay? You guys can look at my YouTube channel for proof, okay? I didn't move out with anyone really unless it was by myself, literally isolation mode, until today. It's been 3 years later. I've made more than enough money, okay, even last year to move out by myself. But now that I've moved out alone, I realized I think I took the right path, and I really delayed gratification, okay? I don't have the car. I don't have I have the watch. I don't have the crazy expensive designer clothes. I don't have any of that. It's just not my thing. It's not my style. I've been on, talked about on this YouTube channel, I invest my money. I'm a boring person in some eyes, but in my eyes, it's the most logical, because I think people think when you start making some money, that money stays forever, or you're always going to make that amount of money and you're always going to make more. And I think where people go wrong is things can happen in life, guys, and you have to prepare for it. Whether it be somehow a war breaks out. I know that's very worst case. A war breaks out, or a family member has health issues, or you have health issues. Prepare for this stuff. Don't put yourself in debt for a car or for something stupid and then risk something happening to your family and then you not being able to help them because you drive a Lamborghini. How stupid, how stupid is that? And that's why for me, I'm very conservative. I like to say I'm logical, right? So be logical about financial decisions. And if you make some money, realize it might not be forever, okay? You might make a little bit of money now and it might drop, okay? That was honestly, transparently, a lot of last year for me, I did very well, I would say, very early of last year, kind of in the first couple quarters of last year. And then towards the middle of the year, my income dropped a lot, okay? And I was prepared for it because I didn't blow my money, but in a person's shoes who kind of is the normal, typical online money kid, they would have bought insane stuff and they would have gone broke. And that's the cycle that a lot of people go through. Most people stretch themselves way too far, okay? And I'm probably beating a dead horse here saying it because I know I say it in a lot of my videos, but just chill out on the expenses, okay? Don't worry. Be smart first. Build your business. Invest into yourself. Invest into your knowledge, education. I talked about mentors earlier. I wouldn't be where I'm at without mentors, okay? There's the whole notion online about every mentor is bad and all this stuff, buying courses is bad. Courses are the reason I've gotten to where I'm at. If I didn't buy a course when I first started online business, I wouldn't be where I'm at. There's a positive I've gotten from every single investment, even if the course itself wasn't the best, okay? I've met people, or I've been able to take away a certain little bit of information that helped me make 10x the investment of the initial course investment or the mentorship investment. That's the stuff that matters. And a lot of people overlook that, and you won't necessarily see that unless you stick in the game long enough. This is a long game. Online entrepreneurship, all of it, it's designed, especially on social media, for you to feel like results are supposed to come instant. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. This is not crypto in 2021, okay? And all the kids that got big crypto pumps in 2020 and 2021, they made $1 million, but they didn't have the skills or the foundation on a personal level to sustain that $1 million. So what did they go do? They went and spent it. And they can't remake that money because they got lucky, okay? When you build a real business and when you really hire right people and you have good clients and you do all these things, you're building a skill set that makes it almost impossible for you to ever go broke again. Because as long as you keep trying, you will succeed, okay? And when you get lucky on some stuff and then you blow your finances, you blow your capital that you got being lucky, then you're starting from square zero again, ground zero, start up, And I've said this before in another video, but I'll say it again. I'm getting rich once and I'm never getting rich again, okay? It's not worth it for me. I simply would rather get rich once, become successful once, and not have to worry about going up this hard upstream again, okay? Because it is hard. It's not easy, all right? And just know, play long term, build out your life goals, and don't get consumed by what other people do on social media, there's a podcast I'd recommend all of you guys to watch. It was with Lex Friedman and the guy who started Telegram, Pavel Durov, I believe is his name. One of the best interviews I've ever listened to, 4 hours. The guy is, I think, in his 30s or maybe very early 40s. He looks like he's in his 20s. And he's one of those very stoic entrepreneurs who doesn't drink, wakes up at crazy early hours, does hundreds of push-ups when he wakes up, goes in, very regimented person, okay? And the most extreme of the extreme. He's, I think, worth $20 billion or something like that, and one of the youngest guys in the world to be worth that amount. And I think a big takeaway I got away from that interview, which I think a lot of you guys should think is applicable to an entrepreneur's life if you're trying to, kind of, I guess, go up in the ranks right now, is be a contrarian. I think is the way he put it. Is like, it's okay to be a contrarian. It's okay to not go the path most people go. Why do we care if you post a video and someone you know in person makes fun of you for it? What is that person ever going to do with their life? Do you want to be around those people if they're going to make fun of you for something different, or you're trying to, better your life in some way, but it might seem humiliating or embarrassing? Then you don't want to be around those people. Posting content online and documenting your journey, even when people make fun of you for it, is a great sign to you that you need to be around different people, because anyone worthwhile, worth knowing for the rest of your life, is going to support you. They're not going to beat you down. And that's the whole point. Being a contrarian is sometimes the best thing. Entrepreneurs need to, I guess, say, understand that that's who they are. They're different, okay? But that's okay, because if you want different results, you need to, I guess, be different to an extent. You can't expect a different outcome going the same way everyone else is going. So guys, I know this video has been a little bit of a rant, some of the videos I do on this channel, but yeah, it's crazy to think how far things have gone in the past few years in my life, and I'm a testament to this. I'm not the most far, ahead person in the world. Like, I think there's so much more, and I have experienced 1% of life, but in that 1%, I've been pretty involved. I've been pretty involved into my craft, into online business, into building, I guess, a business that, has taken a lot of time. But I would say it's 100% worth it, and I would never, ever take a different path than the path I took. And this is just the start for me, as I always say in every video. But just know it's okay to be that person who is different. Write down those goals that are different. If you are a different person, inevitably you will see different outcomes, whether it be for the better or for the worse. Try to make that for the better. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And obviously, we're in the new setup. You guys are going to see a lot more videos here from me from now. And hope all is well in your guys' life. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully, like, subscribe, check out my Instagram. I've been posting a lot there. More life updates, Q&As, all that type of stuff with questions you guys got for me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.